All right. Hi, team. We're
Hi.
welcome
Hi.
to team week 2 of our cohort. So right now, as I said on Slack, we're going to
Hi.
start demo. Hi, Alit. We're going to start with the demo, and then after that, we proceed from there. So, were you guys able to share among yourselves how you would do the presentation? Okay. So any team that is ready can start. Oh,
Okay, we can start the presentation, yeah.
yeah, you can start. Let me enable you to share screen.
Okay.
Let me know if you can share. Okay, you can check now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Am I sharing the browser?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So our issue was mainly about making the navigation bar work. In this case, we had a footer navigation bar with links to 3 pages. And we had to make that those links work with a special component, which was part of React Router. So the navigation is inside the React Router. And yeah, as you can see, we can click the links and they direct us to the corresponding page. And the code related to this issue, I think Viviana can show you the code.
Sure, I continue with the code for this issue. So let me share the screen.
All right.
I think. Are you seeing the Visual Studio Code right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, this was the code before we work on the issue. We are importing only the outlet component from React Router DOM, and here we have those links, but are not implemented yet.
Okay.
So if I change to our branch, we can see that we add the navlink component here and implemented this component inside this navigation element in the layout component. So those are the changes we made. And what I realized today early was that we forgot to delete this comment that I guess that we don't need it anymore. So I was wondering what's the best way to proceed in these cases where we see something that can be improved in the issue after it is already merged. So
Yeah.
that's a
You can always do the changes and then make a PR. And then
okay.
obviously your teammates will have to take a look, and then we'll take a look, just the normal process. And then you can put on Slack, hey, I found so and so something and I already fixed it and I've pushed to GitHub. Please help me take a look. And then we go from there.
Cool, thank you. So yes, that's all, I guess, by our side. So,
All right.
I don't know if anyone has any question about this issue.
For me, I don't have any question. It was a pretty much straightforward ticket, and your code was straightforward too. No, no caveats, no ambiguity. It was a very straightforward code and implementation. So well done, team. Does anyone else have any questions or comments or contributions? None. Okay. Yeah. So Judith and team, if you're ready, you can go.
So I will share my screen.
All right.
So what we did this week, it was rendering the list of of shopping list and the list of product. So once you log in, you can see the list that is appearing, and when you go on the list itself, then
It does show up for me.
you should have something here. Yeah,
Did
not
you
sure why.
click? I think um I think how they expected it to work is you have to click test list. You have to click
No,
one of the list.
now it's not clickable. Ah, Apple. Now it is.
So do you think probably the button on the home screen is supposed to lead to the list page once you click on it? Was that captured in your
Mm,
cases?
For me, when you click on list, in my head, you will go to the list page and get the product from this specific list.
Yeah, that feels natural to be like that. Yeah.
Okay. I guess they meant it to be an additional something because it wasn't specifically shown on the acceptance criteria, right? Was it listed there?
No, it wasn't. I mean, if it would have been, then we obviously would have worked on that part.
Yeah. All right. So I guess whenever you're disposed during this, okay. So when we check the issues for this week, we're going to check if any of the tickets is taking care of that for this week. But if not, then any of you that is disposed this week can easily update that so that when you click on this button, the only thing, it's already setting the particular list. So the only thing it has to do is just to take to the list page, which is the same thing that this list is doing. So it's not complicated. So you can just put redirect to the list page. Once they click on the any button, redirect to the list page. But yeah, before we close, we'll check if any of the issues for this week is taking care of that. All right. We can see the code now.
Judith, are you able to show the code?
Yeah. Let me see how the share screen works. Now should be good. Yeah. Okay. Can you see the code? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks a bit. Okay. So as we said, our task was to make the list as well as the items appear. So on the home JSX, which you find under the views folder, we have implemented this array function to render the component, and we knew we would pass in name, path, and the list path, and additionally, which is a React. Excuse my way of phrasing, a React thing that you have with list items that the children need to have a unique key. So in this instance, we have set the index of the array items as the unique key to abide by this rule, and on a similar token. Come on, why? On a similar token, the code for the items is built in a similar manner. So here we did know we have an item name, and we did see under the Firebase JS, I think it was, where it was stated that for the item, an ID would be manually added after the item got created. So that's why I've taken as the unique key for the list item. Celine, did I miss anything?
No,
Okay.
did not forget anything. No, that was it.
Yeah,
I think the most complicated part was actually to know how was the data in the database, so we could get the property properly. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and since we had the issue with the database in itself that we were just getting like empty objects back, so I really did go after we have been coding together. I was going through the code and see if there was maybe an issue on our side, and that's where I realized, oh God, we had forgotten the key. So which then turned up in my terminal, and obviously I've then fixed the issue just to make sure that really everything is solid on our side, just to troubleshoot. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really a nice one. So we're able to, so when I want to see the structure of an object or an array, I usually log it to the console. So Celine, were you able to see the structure by probably
Yeah.
console log? Okay, okay.
I think we console log data. Yeah.
All right, all right. All right, nice. It was a good learning process for you, right? So initially, there was something we were supposed to do on the database that we didn't do for this particular ticket. So that was why you encountered that at the beginning. So did you get a chance to see our Firebase to see what's going on there?
I mean, honestly, I tried to, but for some reason I really didn't get anywhere, because the whole Firebase is like it is very very new to me. So just to get through and actually see the schema or anything like that, it was a bit too much for me, I have to confess, because it is the first time where I personally been dealing with a already set in stone like code base. And
Okay.
just navigating that has been like a huge task of mine, because up to now I've built everything on my own, had my own structure, so I knew before I knew everything was now coming to the set thing, it was a challenge.
Yeah. So that's basically how Firebase is. It's I don't want to call it complicated because it might not be complicated, because that would mean that the engineers didn't really put the customer in mind. But initially, it's not straightforward. It's really not straightforward. Like you come to the interface and then what do I do? Where do I click? How do I see my data? So I understand that, but I know that as time goes on, you're going to get used to it, because we're going to make reference to it a whole lot throughout the cohort. So yeah, nice one, Tim. Your feature works. And I like the use of key, because initially when I was starting, I was ignoring it, like because I didn't see any need for it. Like my code still works. Why am I using key? But as time went on, I understood that it's really important. So I was happy when I saw it in your code. So nice one.
Yeah, it was really an error that cropped up here on my end when I was really trying to hunt down the
Okay.
database issue, because it wouldn't show up on the browser console log, but it would turn up on my Linux terminal window.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's right. Yeah, I should fix that.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. All right.
Okay,
That's it from
can
me.
I?
Have any more contributions? Does anyone have any comments concerning this second ticket? All right. So yeah. Well done, team. We started really well. Our first week it went well. Did you guys experience how was your pairing, by the way? How was the experience?
It was very lovely.
All right.
Yeah, it's nice, and I like that the communication is really easy with you mortals and within the team as well. It's really nice. It's straightforward, and it's yeah, feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the experience of pair programming as well. Yeah, it was so nice.
Nice. Happy to hear that. So yeah, that's really nice work. And let's see how this week is going to be too. Hoping it continues to be very easy for us. So George is going to take over now for the learning module discussion. George?
Right. So we had, I think I will share the screen or at least the window. So first of all, has someone any question about the learning modules? Have you seen any or all of the modules, or you have any comment about it? Something that we can just start discussing? Yep.
I like that you have the possibility to have some videos or to see some slide. It depends how you can learn. So you have both possibility. I do like that.
Yeah, I like that too, because with that, with slides, you can go super fast, but the videos are pretty well indeed. Well done. But did the videos or the slide at some point surprise you at any point? Something that you were not expecting, you didn't know, or yeah, something worth mentioning.
I mean, if I may, it's not really like surprising or anything. It's just the whole thing about Git and GitHub. I actually did find it a little. I mean, I was watching the video and the information. I mean, it was a lot of information, but it was also a bit like a little bit confusing, if I'm honest. That's all I was wanting to say for that part. Really, just I did find it like confusing.
But you mean the presentation or the whole Git thing? I mean, because Git can
It's
be very
more
confusing.
more like the whole Git thing. It's especially when it comes to the collaboration part with creating branch, pull requests, and all that. It is a lot to take in. But yes, confusing.
That's true. That's true. And honestly, I think I've been working with Git, I don't know for how many years, and still I'm learning things. I find myself using sometimes the menus, sometimes the commands. I mean, you just have to don't be afraid. I mean, like Git is just software. I mean, you're not going to make something explode or kill anyone with Git. So just try. Just try.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I have someone in my household who knows Git a bit better than I do and is more comfortable with it. So if I have questions regarding Git, he's the one I'm asking, hey, what can I do to not mess this thing here up?
Yeah. But luckily, the ways we are using it in this cohort, I mean, in the Collab lab, is quite straightforward, I would say. There are many ways of using Git in a more complex ways. But what we are doing here basically is just branching and merging, and in fact merging with pull requests, which normally it's pretty easy to go.
Yeah, I have to confess that in the bootcamp that I was in last year or the year before, at some point we had a team project, and I was working on my part, and so I was working on the branch, but I had forgotten to update the code before doing my thing, and so it was a whole mess that was going on in Git, and I was calling my partner, hey, what's wrong here? Why does it push? And he was like, yeah, you're way out of date with your thing. And it was really like a huge task for him to clean this all up. So that's where my hesitation and anxiety comes from a little bit.
Yeah, but one thing is, I think that Chamaka said this with Google, selling with ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure we will. I mean, not you or me, anyone will be the first to have the first time a problem with Git. I mean, always there has been someone with the same issues, and the issues tend to be recurrent. I mean, all the time we have the same issues with merging, issues with rebasing, issues with losing the head of the branch. I mean, issues that Googling or ChatGPT that ChatGPT does Google underneath. So this can be solved all the time. So with that, I mean, what can I say? The thing that has helped me more to understand Git is to understand that you have a database in your local as exactly the same like in the server, exactly the same as the other people working with you. So all we have databases, and imagine that they are databases of things that pile just one on top of the other. And these things that pile one on top of the other are the changes. And the changes are just like the lines of code. So if you imagine that you have, every one of you have your own version of the database, the only difference is that one has two items more in the pile, and the other one has 2 items less. If you start thinking of Git only as databases with more or less, then for me that makes things easier to understand. To understand when it says you are behind the branch, that means the branch has more commits than you. Then you need to pull the changes. I mean, this kind of things, but don't, I mean, now is not the moment to do a Git class, but just be confident. I mean, Git is difficult for all of us. And once you start working with it, like, I don't know, for 1 week or 2, or maybe a little bit more, depending on what you're doing, you just learn what you have to do, and it's relatively easy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And don't get, I mean, because some people are very dogmatic with, you have to use the command line, or you have to use, no. Use whatever you want. Use whatever you are comfortable. Yeah, I mean, there are pretty good tools to help you with this. In Visual Studio Code, the Git Graph plugin, I mean the extension, it's super good to see the history of the Git repository, and it helps a lot, and it's free.
Thanks again.
So what about the other self-study learning modules, like the code reviews, yeah, or the communication for the devs presentation? Yeah, anything about that?
I really like this one, the communication for devs. I found it very useful, as it was no new things, but like cool tips to have in mind. We're writing different things, so that this one was very good for me.
Yeah. Wait a moment, because I'm trying to share, but Zoom is now insisting to asking me for permissions that he already has. I don't know. Can you see my Firefox?
No.
No.
Ah, crap. What about desktop one? Let me try again. I don't know. It's stuck. I cannot share anything. Anyway. So, and what about the pair programming presentation? I'm curious about that because you have been doing pair programming, but I don't know if you have been following what it says there about pair programming. I'm asking, to be precise, about the concept of the driver and the cooperator and the two roles. Have you managed to work in these two roles?
Initially, me and Viviana, yeah, we tried to do that setup, but the issue was very straightforward and very short. So we didn't have as much time to develop that driver and backseat driver cooperation. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's an interesting way to work, and I really look forward to practicing that with more extensive issues and yeah, more difficult or complicated things. So we can see that dynamic better.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty well presented, and always keep that on mind, that it's collaboration and that there is a driver, and sometimes that we don't value enough this concept of the one that is on the back seat, that has to have this wider view of what is happening. Because when you are the driver and you are on the keyboard and doing the practical coding, I mean, the other person has to be thinking on the big picture, and I think that's the most difficult part of pair programming, because it's easy to get simply carried away, and if you see the other person is very comfortable programming, you can maybe switch off, and then the driver is like alone and the other one is just thinking in any other thing. So keeping focus is also difficult when you are doing pair programming, especially if you do it for I don't know, for more than half an hour or something like that. So I mean, how much time did you spend during your pair programming sessions in this week? More or less, probably.
Mm,
Half an hour,
yeah.
maybe.
Mhm.
Half an
Similar for
hour.
us, I think. It was
Yeah.
about the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, keeping the pair programming sessions, I mean, 1 hour, I guess it's okay. It depends a lot on what you're doing. But
Mhm.
if you find yourself a little bit tired, it's much better to stop, relax, do another thing, grab a coffee, and then come back and continue. Okay. All right. And the communication slides. What do you think about comments? Do you think that you are commenting well the code, or in other words, not commenting the code? So what do you think about that? Comments.
I like comments, so I have an idea about what's going ahead. Like I can understand what's the purpose of the code instead of reading and saying I don't know what it's doing and keeping trying to understand. So it gives sort of context. And until now, I do tend to comment my code, and when I work with people, they tend to remove those comments. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. That's something that happens. I mean, the best code is the code that has no comments, but you read it and it's obvious and everybody understands. But sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, and then it's fine to write clarifications when things are not self-explanatory or maybe a bit surprising. Okay, but yeah, I mean, think about the comments like like the way to avoid what the fuck moments reading code. Okay, when you are reading code and you see what the, okay, then there is where you need a comment. Okay, if you are able to give your code to another person and this person reads it and understands everything and it's fine, that's perfect. If you detect this piece that it's not exactly clear, there is a good place for a comment.
And something I found insightful watching the lecture about this, which is regarding to the debate whether comments should be included or the code should be self-explanatory, is that comments aren't there to address the what the code is doing, which that should be self-explanatory if the code is good enough.
Mhm.
But rather why you are doing it that way. Why did you choose that implementation, which is what gives the reader more information about how the code works, or why those decisions were made when choosing the code, that exact code.
Exactly. And there is another very good reason for this practice, which is nobody's going to maintain a comment which is non-critical. So if you leave comments that can be just ignored, then these comments will stay, but your code will change because you are evolving your application. So at the end, you will have maybe pretty good code, but with bad comments, it's a recipe for disaster because this will mess everything. So, every time you put a comment, also think that you will have to maintain that comment, or worse than that, someone that is not you will have to maintain the comment. So you have to be good and think of the others that will get your code afterwards. Okay.
Wow, that's really insightful. I've never thought about it that way, like maintaining of comments. I don't
Maintaining of
think
comments
because you
is
just come back and write your code, update your code, and then go your way. You don't even remember
exactly.
to check the comments. Is the comment up to date and everything? Wow. Wow,
And they
that's
are
really nice.
poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the comments are poison. Right. So, what else? Any other comment about the slides, or I don't know? Maybe we can continue with the session. I don't know, Chamaka, what do you think?
Um, so the so I was thinking, is accessibility part of it? The accessibility resources. Were you guys able to get to that?
But that
Next week.
in next
Coming week.
week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
In fact, next week we only have this one, so we can always go back to the topics
Yeah.
from this week.
Yeah.
Always, because maybe while you are doing the second week issues, you find yourself with doubts in terms of, I don't know, agile practice, or way of communicating something in the pull request. So I guess it's correct to go back if needed.
Yeah. And you can always ask questions, even though we passed that particular module, can always bring it up again and we can answer the questions.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So what else? Can we go to the next topic then?
Yeah.
Next topic would be the issues. I don't know how
Yeah.
to handle this.
Yeah, that's Elite. All right, thank you so much, Judge. Elite to take it from here. Let me know if you can share.
Okay, I share my screen now. And the entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Our next issue is that as a user, I want to set up a new shopping list so I can start tracking purchased items. This item summary. A shopping list as a set of items associated with the owner's unique ID and the name of the shopping list. User need to be able to create new shopping lists. To do this, the home view should present them with a form that allow them to enter name of their lists. Additionally, we need to few things to create that list. First, save the token to local storage. Second, save the list to our database using create list function in the Firebase JavaScript. Third, show the user the list view. This story, the accepts criteria of this UI related task. And the home view display a form that allow user to enter the name of shopping list and then create a list with that the name. The input that accept the name of the item has a semantic label element associated with it. The user can submit the form with a both the mouse and the enter key. When the user submits the form, they see a message indicating that the list either was or was not created and saved to the database. This is UI related, and the following ones that are related acceptance criteria. Clicking the button uses to create this function and is the Firebase to create a new shopping list for the user. The shopping list path is stored in the local storage using this set list path function. Once the list has been created and saved, the user is redirected to the list view. And there is some notes in this issue. There is hard while you are doing this task. Are there any questions for that task? There is unclear paths or something else. Any question? Okay. I continue with next task. This task is, as a user, I want to add a new item to my shopping list so I can start recording the purchase. This task will be Morge and Judith. This some summary. User needs to be able to add items to their shopping list. To do this, the add item view should present them with a form that allows them to enter two things: the name of the item and estimates of when they think they will need to buy item again. And, okay. There is a shopping list API will be helpful. And this shopping list API contains some API function. Add user database, create lists, share lists, add items. It's already in the Firebase.js, these functions. This accepts criteria of the task UI related. The manage list will display a form that allows them to enter the name of the item and select how soon they anticipate needing to buy it again. There should be three choices for this. Soon, corresponding 7 days. Kinda soon, corresponding 14 days. Not soon, corresponding 30 days. The second, the input that accepts the name of the item as semantic label element as should visit. The user can submit the form with a both mouse and enter key. When the user submits the form, they see a message indicating that the item either was or was not saved to the database. Data related exception criteria. The console log in the add item function in Firebase.js is replaced with a function that adds a new document to the Firestore database. That function will be imported from the Firestore module. The user soon, not soon, kind of soon choice is used to calculate next purchase date. Okay, there's some notes. Are there any questions for that task? Okay, this week is all. I will help you on Wednesday. I will send a new request for the time you can select from team, and at that time I will help you. Okay.
That's for the office hours, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, all right, all right. And when your tickets are ready for mentors review, you can tag George. He's reviewing this week.
Mhm.
All right. Is that all, Elliot? Okay.
Yeah, is that finished?
All right. As usual, we only go through the issues on Sunday so that we can answer any questions you have outrightly. It doesn't mean that if you have any questions when you go through it that you can't ask, you know. So sometimes you might not really get it now, but when you settle down and want to start your issue and then you go through it one after the other, you can always ask questions then. Yeah, and then secondly, last week was preparation. Last week was welcome to the team. This is when the main work is going to start. So starting from now, it's going to get a little bit complex, but we are in it together, obviously. So don't be afraid. Don't reject about anything. So just try and try and try. If you get hooked up, then you reach out to us on Slack and then we jump on it together. Yeah, so talk about office hours, code review. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there any questions? Yeah.
Maybe now that we are here together, because last week we had some trouble setting the office hours. So maybe now that we are here, we can discuss the best schedule for that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can get a time that is fine for everybody, and then we can stick to that throughout the cohort. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's Elite, if you are able to provide some options, if not, can be done asynchronously. But it's just that it was a pity because not everybody was able to join last week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the problem on my part was, I mean, the doodle had been sent out. I had been putting through the time that I was, which would suit me the best. But then the invite came through to a point where, because I'm working late every night, I wasn't bad when that came through, so I basically overslept. So that if I had known a little bit beforehand, then I would have obviously changed the schedule and then I would have been there. So it was a little bit too short notice for my person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as soon as I know way advance, I will change things and be there.
Okay.
No problem. No issues, Judith. It's fine. It's just that we are like organizing ourselves. Okay.
So do we still go ahead to get a time that will stick with every week, or do we choose time every other week? Which ones do we prefer?
Actually, from my side, it's no matters. I can attend Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday,
Wednesday is better, I think.
Thursday?
It's the middle of the week.
Okay.
Okay, it's no problem for me, but sometimes I have a schedule for the evenings. Maybe I cannot attend. And
Okay, what we can do is we can try and set up the do at the beginning of the week, like on Monday, so that we'll set it up on time, so that by Tuesday we've chosen a time and sent the invite to everybody. And we aim to do the office hours Wednesday and Thursday, so that by then you've gone through your issues, you've gone through the learning modules, maybe, so that you can come with your questions or any other thing. So Wednesday, Thursday. So on Monday, we put out the do. On Tuesday, we send the invites against I think that would be okay, right?
That's perfect.
All right. And then
Just
obviously,
just so I know,
yeah.
would morning office hours be a possibility? Because in my case, I work in the afternoons and the evenings, so the earliest I could connect would be like 8:30. But I understand if it's a problem and mornings don't work. But yeah, just so I know if we can we can work with morning office hours.
Yeah, it's okay if everyone is on board for that particular week. If the mentor that is leading for that week is on board, then I guess it's okay. Anytime at all is okay, depending on everyone's availability that week. But obviously the office hours is not compulsory, and then it can also be async. So when the mentor announces it and you're not able to come and you have any questions, you can always ask in the thread of that announcement, and then you can talk about it. Then anytime you're disposed to attend, you can always attend. So it's fine.
Okay.
All right. Have a great week. Happy coding. And if there is anything, please let us know.
Will do.
Yeah. So
Thank you,
thank you.
same.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
bye.
much.
Have a nice week as well. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.